Okay, so we are going to review how to find the percent of a number. So the first thing that you are going to have to do is you are going to convert the percent to a decimal. The way that you do that is wherever the decimal is, you're going to take that decimal and you're going to move it 2 places to the left. So that means if I have a number, let's say we have 20%, there obviously is no decimal place here, so we always know that the decimal is going to go behind the number. So there's always that imaginary decimal there if they're not showing you one. And then to convert this percent to a decimal, I just take that decimal and I move it 1 2 place values. So our decimal version of that would be 0.2 or 0.20. Okay, and it might look a little bit different. There might be a decimal already in the number. So if we have a number like 1.2%, we don't have to write the decimal because they already wrote it for us. So we just start wherever that decimal is and we follow the same process. So we have to move it 1 2 times, and notice how there is nothing right here, so we put our placeholder, and when we write a placeholder we're going to write it as 0. So our new number, since we moved our decimal 2 places, is going to look like 0.012 as a decimal. So 1.2% looks like 0.012 as a decimal. So wherever the decimal is, whether there's an imaginary one behind it because it's a whole number, whether it's already included in it and it's given to you, no matter what, you're going to move it 2 times to the left because that's the same thing as dividing by 100. And remember that percent means for every 100. So I'm going to move that over 2 times to convert it to a decimal. So moving on, we're going to go through some examples. I've got examples of every kind written down here. We're going to start off where we have a percent that looks like a whole number. So they did not give us the decimal, and we're going to follow those steps. So since we do not see a decimal right here, we're going to have to do the same thing we did just a moment ago. Add the decimal behind the 15, and we're still going to move that decimal 2 place values 1 2 to the left. So now that gives us 0.15. And then our next step is to multiply that by the original amount. So we're just going to take that 0.15 and we're going to multiply it by 250 because we all know the word of in math tells us to multiply. So we're going to multiply it by 250. Okay, and when we do that and we say 0.15 times 250, we get 37.5. Okay, so 15% of 250 is 37.5. Okay, moving over to our next example, we have an example where they did give us a decimal in the problem, so we don't have to write one in. So again, we're just going to start with the decimal place and we're going to move it 1 2 places to the left. And obviously, just like last time, we don't have any numbers here, so we're going to have to add in our placeholders. So our new number is 0.004. And then again, of means to multiply by 10. So when we say 0.004 times 10, we get 0.04 as our answer. Okay, one last example. we've got 250% of 20. So again, they did not give us a decimal point here. So we are going to have to do the same thing where we add it behind the number, and we are still going to move that 2 places to the left. So 250% as a decimal looks like 2.5 or 2.50. 2.5 and 2.50 are the same number. And then remember, of means to multiply, and we're going to multiply that by 20. So when we say 2.50 or 2.5 times 20, we get 50 as our answer. And so in this case, where we have a percent that's bigger than 100, that means we have more than 1 times our original number. We have 100%, 200%, 250% of that original number. So when we have a percent bigger than 100, we should have an answer that is bigger than our original number. So our answer here makes sense. So there's the review. To find the percent, we just convert the percent to a decimal by moving 2 decimal places to the left, and then we multiply that new decimal by the original amount. And that's all you've got to do.